Welcome back. Well, Nigel Farage is trying to put Reform UK into government in waiting mode, unveiling a mini shadow cabinet stacked with big defectors and big portfolios, even though the party's only got 8 MPs. Joining me now is Spiked Online chief political writer Brendan O'Neill. Brendan, thank you for joining me. Take us through this announcement, and is this good enough to set the party up ahead of the next election?
Yeah, it's a really significant development because, as you guys will know from the Australian case, there's usually only one opposition party that has a shadow cabinet, and that will be the official opposition in the UK, which is the Conservative Party. So in naming his own shadow cabinet, Farage is basically laying down the gauntlet. He says that we are now the official opposition. We will be the people who could well storm to power in the next general election. I think he's right to be that confident because all the opinion polls continually show that Reform is soaring ahead of all the other parties. It's increasingly the most popular party in the UK, which is a real sign that people want change. They want something different. They want to leave behind the two-party system and take a punt on this upstart party that's kind of come from nowhere. So a positive development, I think, for British politics, and a lot of people will be watching Reform to see how well they can do.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Nigel Farage has taken this from a protest party into one that could genuinely form government. I mean, it's all systems go now for Reform, that's for sure. Look, this baffled me when I read it. Another mess for Keir Starmer. One of his close allies is under investigation over an alleged smear operation targeting journalists who were reporting on Labor-linked funding. I mean, Brendan, this is a scandal. It just sounds to me like Starmer can't take the heat.
I mean, this is a huge scandal. I'm amazed that it hasn't made more global headlines. I'm really pleased that you guys are discussing it because there's this think tank called Labour Together, which is a really important Labour Party think tank, the organisation that helped to get Keir Starmer into office. And it turns out that they were investigating journalists who were investigating them, and they were spreading smear stories or rumours about these journalists. I mean, this is really kind of tin pot dictator stuff. This is the kind of thing you'd expect in Soviet Russia, not in 21st century Britain. Keir Starmer posed as the great warrior against sleaze. He said he would end the era of Tory sleaze, but in fact, he's been beset by one scandal after another. The Lord Mandelson scandal, of course, related to Jeffrey Epstein. Now this heavy-handed tactic in relation to freedom of the press. I don't know how much longer Starmer can stay in Downing Street. He is one of the most scandalous PMs we've had in a long time, and I have a feeling his days in power might actually be numbered.
Well, I mean, it just also goes to show how dangerous the left are, that they would try and do this. As you said, it's a tin pot style of diplomacy. It's extraordinary. Let's talk about the Epstein files. It's been another big week for them, of course. Pam Bondi released all of the Epstein files, all of the names, and now UK police are assessing claims linked to those files, including allegations that Epstein used his private jet to make dozens of trips to UK airports and that victims may have been trafficked there. Brendan, look, it's getting worse and worse, and we're getting more and more information about the inner dealings of Epstein. But, of course, Andrew is caught up in a lot of these allegations as well now.
Yeah, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as we must now call him since his fall from grace. Yes, a lot of questions for him to answer, a lot of speculation. He seems to have been up to questionable things, although, of course, he denies the more serious accusations that have been made against him. But I think he definitely has a case to answer. We need to know what he was up to with Jeffrey Epstein. But there's one other thing in relation to this story that's starting to tick off some British people, which is why there's so much enthusiastic investigation of this scandal in comparison with the rape gang scandal of the past 30 years, when loads of white working class girls were abused and trafficked and raped by largely Muslim gangs. You know, we didn't see the same enthusiasm from members of parliament to investigate that or to hold inquiries. We didn't see comments from the king. We didn't see comments from prime ministers. So bit by bit, people are starting to ask why this kind of scandal is being prioritised over that. So there's that question as well that dangles over this whole affair in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. It's a story that seems to get on the back burner, and certainly UK Labor want it to be on the back burner, but it shouldn't be, given what occurred here. Brendan O'Neill, we've got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Appreciate it.